Good morning and welcome to Living Local 15. I'm your host, Jessica Williams. Thank you so much for joining me today. First up, I am joined by PNC Bank as we discuss holiday inflation and tips that they have for shopping. Then it's Cocktail Corner Holiday Edition. I show you how to make very festive holiday cocktails at an affordable price. Then I visit Boughter Sinak to learn about their personal injury law firm. That and more happening now.
Fashion, food, and fun. You're watching Living Local 15 with your host, Jessica Williams.
As you're doing your holiday shopping, you will definitely feel the pinch in inflation this year. Joining me today is Karina Ladd, the Regional President for PNC Bank for Northern Indiana, and Catherine Hill, Community Relations Director, and they're going to explain just how much you may have to spend in the last countdown to Christmas. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
How are you?
Doing great, thank you.
Yes, okay, so of course, inflation is something that we are all talking about and feeling, especially at the end of the year when spending increases, right? We want to buy nice stuff for our friends and family, and you all kind of monitor, how the prices are going, and you have your PNC Christmas Price Index. So what is that?
Yeah, so our PNC Christmas Price Index is a kind of a lighthearted take on the Bureau of Labor Statistics Consumer Price Index. And so we're measuring the changes year over year, what it's going to cost you to purchase certain items.
Yeah.
And in this case, we're measuring the items that are in the 12 Days of Christmas song. And so we kind of take real life, what's happening in the economy, and we apply it to those items and tell you how much it's going to cost to buy all of the items in the 12 Days of Christmas for your true love.
Ooh, okay, so I have to ask, you monitor this each year. Did you see a major change from 2024 to 2025? I'm like, what year is it?
Yeah, it's 25. We actually did see an increase. And so what we've done is we've applied, what has changed in the economy to all of those items. And what we found is that if you were to buy one of each item in the 12 Days of Christmas, this year it's going to cost you $51,476. And that is a 4.5% increase over last year.
Wow, that is a huge increase, and that is a whole salary. Like, what is happening? So I'm trying to think. You got me playing the song in my head, thinking about what all I could purchase.
So for all of this, you'd get one piper piping, you'd get one lady dancing, you'd get one maid a milking, one golden ring.
Wow.
So if you added all that up, you'd have to.
Yeah, that's I love that.
So there are some items that had a little bit larger increase. Any idea what you think might have had the biggest increase from last year to this year?
Probably cars.
Well, we don't have cars in the 12 days of Christmas.
All right.
But
you know what? I'm going to tell you something funny because my family's going to get me. Every year at our Christmas bash, we sing the 12 days of Christmas as a family, and it's like this fun thing. But we have the paper in our hands, so I'm trying to think. We haven't sung it yet.
There's no cars in there.
There's no cars.
There's five.
That's the more modern one.
There's
five golden rings.
5 golden rings.
Okay.
And that is actually the item that saw the largest price increase this year.
Wow.
And it actually increased 32.5% over last year as people kind of flocked to those precious metals this year and thought that the metals were a great investment to hold. So 32.5%.
I would have needed y'all to sing that.
But who gets 5 golden rings, really? I mean, we all have 5 fingers, but we don't.
Exactly. That is, okay. What else do you have?
So the other item in the 12 Days of Christmas that had a pretty big increase this year was the partridge in a pear tree. And the reality is the birds were actually pretty stable year over year, but the housing, so it was the pear tree itself that had the larger increase, and that really relates to what we've seen in the increase in housing prices.
I think the partridge is only $20 of this total. So that's how PNC dials into the exact. You can see it online, exactly how they come to these numbers every year. So literally the partridge costs 20, the pear tree costs 400.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, what's next? This is fun.
So the last item we'll talk about all the performers had an increase this year. But the biggest jump was the nine ladies dancing. And that's, if we think about labor statistics or the labor costs, that goes into all of the entertainment, if you will, right down to the venue, the people that are running the venue, but also then the performers themselves.
Yes.
So 5.4%, I think, increase for the nine ladies dancing this year.
What is so interesting about inflation is that the cost of things go up, but not people's incomes at the same rate.
They haven't at the same rate.
Right. And so that makes it so challenging, and looking at these numbers is crazy. So what type of advice do you have for shoppers who may try to figure out how to shop more affordably?
Yeah, so one thing we do know is that shopping online costs a little bit more. There's, cost of transportation, the cost of the fuel, the boxes, the packaging, and all of that costs money, so that goes into the cost. So if you were to buy, for comparison, if you were to buy all of those same things that we just talked about was $51,000, it would actually be over $55,000 to buy them online. So one piece of advice would be to shop local. Go to your local stores. You can avoid that extra expense of shopping online, if you will. And then maybe try and find some fun substitutes, like, I don't know, maybe 5 golden rings isn't necessary, but maybe some costume jewelry instead of the real thing might still be a nice gift.
Yeah.
My family's doing a lot of buying used this year, actually, going to places, vintage places and things like that.
Yeah.
There's another trick. I'm trying to picture 9 maids of milking being shipped. I don't know. That's interesting to think about.
Okay, that's so fascinating. So people can actually go online to look at this price index. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes, you can go to, it's pnc.com/Christmas price index.
Okay, perfect. Well,
You
thank
need
you.
to add it to your family song night. You need to bring the statistics with you, Jessica.
Yes,
It'll make it interesting.
Right. People love doing math and all that on Christmas. No, what I'm going to do is I'm going to redo the song in a more modern version to add my cars.
There you go. Cars and tech. We don't have tech.
Right.
Cars, I like it.
Everybody gets a car. That's what's
Everybody
going to be.
yeah.
I love it. Well, thank you both so much for coming in and chatting with me.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
And if you would like more information about the PNC Price Index, well, we'll have that website listed below so you can check out these numbers for yourself. And I'll see you after the break.
Have an idea for the show? Want to find out how you can be a guest? Contact us at livinglocal15@wayne.com.
It is time for Cocktail Corner, but this time this is a holiday edition. As you are preparing to celebrate and entertain over the holiday season, I wanted to show you some really easy recipes using vodka. Now, as you know, vodka is one of the most affordable spirits, and you can get creative with it in brand new ways. Now, what I'm going to show you today will help you make an individual glass or both of these cocktails make for a really good punch bowl so you can serve it in the masses, okay? So let's get started. Oh, and also each of these ingredients really only take 3 primary steps, which is great. Okay, the first one, since we're using Tito's vodka, is Tito's Holiday Time. They have really cool recipes on their website, and so this one came from there. So you start off by just taking your Tito's, and you can pour in 1.5 ounces, just like that. Now you can do this in a shaker, but we're gonna do it just right in the cup. 1.5 ounces of your Tito's. Then we're going to take 1.5 ounces of cranberry. Cranberry is perfect for the holiday vibe. It gives the colors, it gives the flavor. So 1.5 ounces of that. And then we're just gonna dash just a little bit of lime juice. If you want to freshly squeeze it or use something like this, give it a little shaky shake. And then we're just gonna top it off with your favorite sparkling water. Just like that, so beautiful, layered fun. And then of course, you cannot have a cocktail without having it garnished and looking good. And this is a thyme martini, so the best way to elevate your vodka is to give a little herb to it. So I have some thyme leaves here, and then of course some cranberries. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna sprinkle some cranberries on top, just like that. And then what we're gonna do is add in a couple of sprigs off to the side of your thyme. Look how beautiful and festive that is. Oh my goodness. And this is a cocktail that is light. It has really good aroma and it's not sweet. If you want to add sweetness, just add a little simple syrup. Let's give it a little tasty taste. Delightful. So good. Okay. Moving on to our next cocktail. This recipe comes from the Kitchen Magpie, which is an online blog that offers recipes for both cooking and cocktails. And so today we're going to make their peppermint eggnog martini. Peppermint is such a delightful flair for the holiday, and who doesn't love eggnog? Okay, so let's get started by rimming the glass. We're just gonna take a martini glass. What I have in this container here is simple syrup, okay? So we're just gonna get that. You can just slowly twirl it around in your simple syrup. And what I did was I smashed up some peppermint. Okay, as you can see here, I have some smashed peppermint. And I'm just gonna take that. You gotta make sure the peppermint is nice and small so it can actually stick to the glass in a nice way. And you just are gonna rim it and make it look good. And the best thing about rimming it with simple syrup is that it will harden, okay? And so that's gonna be a nice little look and flair. So it's up to you how many times you want to rim it to really give a good look of the peppermint on it, okay? And then next, we're going to make the little mixture that goes with it. So super simple, 3 ounces of eggnog, which I already have poured here. And then you can just top it off with about 1 ounce of your vodka. Cocktails are custom, so it's how much you want. And then we're gonna add a little dash of peppermint extract, like just a little, like about half a teaspoon of that. Of course, you can dash it up a bit if you wanted to use peppermint schnapps. Okay, so then you take this, you can give it a little spin, you can give it a little mix, but what you're doing is pouring it directly without breaking the seal of your rim. You're just gonna pour it directly into your martini glass, just like that. Super easy. And then of course we're gonna garnish it off with a little peppermint off to the side, and look at that. Ooh, 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 ooh. Yes, so festive, so cute, right? And let's give that a tasty taste. This feels like the holiday. So good. And look, we did this in just a couple of minutes, and you can do it too at home. We will post these recipes if you're interested in making this over your holiday celebration from Christmas all the way up into the new year. And this has been Cocktail Corner.
Follow us on social media at Living Local 15.
This segment sponsored by Boughter Sinak. I am here at Boughter Sinak Law Office, which is Indiana's injury attorneys. They have been serving this community for over 15 years, and today I'm going to sit down with their owner, learn more about their services, and when it's best to give them a call. Let's do it. Joining me now is Robert Boughter, who is the owner and attorney here at Boughter Sinak. Hello.
Hi, Jessica.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Very nice to meet you.
You as well. I'm really excited to learn more about your law firm and just really the way that you have been supporting this community for so long. So first off, you're about to hit 16 years. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, how does that feel?
It's awesome. So we've been practicing here in Fort Wayne for about 16 years. I've been a lawyer for about 22 years.
Wow.
We are a boutique law firm, and we specialize in serious injuries and accidents. That's all we do, day in and day out. We fight the insurance company. We're very aggressive in what we do in building up our cases and prosecuting them to maximize the recovery for our clients.
Yeah, I love that, because we need someone to fight for us, especially because accidents happen and it's so unexpected. So kind of share with us a little bit of the types of accidents that people may encounter where they would need your services.
So we handle everything from auto accidents to motorcycle accidents to semi-truck accidents, boating accidents, essentially any type of negligence that results in injury we handle. We focus on serious injuries, so wrongful death claims, product liability claims, where there's a product that's defective that results in amputation or serious injury to somebody, we handle all of those types of claims.
Yeah, and I think about just so much that happens at a job, for example,
Yes.
like slip and falls and things like that. And so at what point does someone really decide that they need to seek you out for services throughout that accident process?
Well, it depends on the severity of the accident. And so if you're in a serious injury situation where you've been seriously injured, for example, in a car accident or a trucking accident, it's always best that you have counsel representing you from the very beginning. One of the most important aspects of our representation in the beginning is preserving the evidence. I don't know how many times the at-fault driver will admit liability, apologize for the accident, and then when we cannot get the case resolved with the insurance company and we have to file a lawsuit, all of a sudden they're denying liability. But if we do our job in preserving the evidence, doing an inspection of the vehicles, an inspection at the scene, hiring accident reconstructionists if necessary, we will build up that case so that we have the evidence to prove in front of the jury if the case needs to go that far.
Wow. So what it sounds like is as soon as the accident happened to contact you.
Yes.
First call.
And the other thing that's always good to do is if you're able, if you're not, sometimes you're incapacitated at the scene of an accident.
Right,
And so obviously the most important thing is your well-being. You want to seek medical treatment, call 911. But if you're able to, again, you want to take photographs of the property damage. You want to take photographs of the scene of the collision, of the parties involved, of the license plates, the property damage both inside and outside. And again, that's just so that we can preserve the evidence on the claim. And then the next step would be to call me, and then I'll go to bat for you and seek to preserve any evidence in the at-fault driver's vehicle, for example. We will seek to preserve the black box data, which is very important. That can tell speed and whether the person tried to avoid the accident, steer left or steer right, whether they applied the brakes and things of that nature.
Yeah, and I know a characteristic of your business, as you said, is being aggressive. Why is it so important to fight so hard on behalf of your client?
Because the insurance companies love to nickel and dime injured clients. That's their goal, is to pay you the least amount of money on the claim. Our goal is to maximize your recovery, to make you a fair recovery. We only seek what's fair.
Yeah.
The insurance company, however, they seek to try to deny, delay, and defend claims to minimize their exposure on the case.
Right.
I'm a former insurance defense lawyer, and that's one of the great attributes that I have, is that I used to work for insurance companies, and so I know how they treat people.
Interesting, yeah.
And I know how they, and their strategies that they use to delay, deny, and defend claims. I use all of that to my advantage to aggressively prosecute the case on behalf of our clients to maximize their recoveries.
Wow, I love that. That's a nice crossover nugget and specialty that you
Yes.
bring. So what would you say would be a big misconception that sometimes people have when it comes to dealing with a personal injury attorney?
Well, everybody says that we're ambulance chasers.
Okay.
And I'm not. I don't chase any ambulances. Our clients, the majority of clients that we have are from past referrals from very happy clients that we've successfully represented and fought for. And we pride ourselves on that. I do a lot of advertising on TV, on billboards, on social media, but the biggest source of our clientele comes from past clients who were very happy with our services and understood that we were there really and truly to fight for them all along the way to obtain them the best recovery possible.
Yeah.
And so that would probably be the biggest misconception, is that we're out there chasing ambulances and we're just here to make a quick dollar. We represent people that have been wronged, that are victims, that have been seriously injured, and their lives, a lot of times in those instances, have changed forever. They'll have a disability, they'll lose their job, they won't be able to work, they won't be able to provide for their families. And so we step in and we fight for them to recover those elements of damages that they lost due to somebody else's negligence.
Yeah, and one way I can tell that you really do care about your clients is how your policy is set up when it comes to, they don't pay until they win, right?
That's absolutely right.
Yeah.
Our fee is strictly based on if we win. And so if we do not make you recovery, you owe us absolutely nothing. We advance all the costs associated with the case. And so cost to filing fee to get into court, we pay. Deposition costs we advance. Any experts that we believe are necessary to maximize the recovery, we'll retain those experts. And some experts can be very expensive. Engineering experts, medical experts, accident reconstructionists. A lot of times those bills will run into the tens of thousands of dollars. And we will advance all of those costs, and unless we make a recovery for the client, they would owe us absolutely nothing.
Wow. That's great. And so I think something that's really important for people to remember is that they have to kind of be proactive in this relationship with you, right? So basically, like, save your number in their phone, because the last thing anyone wants to do is, when an accident happened, try to search and find, you. So save your number and then call you first, right?
And I have a very easy number to remember, 420-HURT.
Okay.
4878 420-HURT.
Yeah.
And so if you just dial that number, we're here for you. We'll be there for any potential clients. Our office phones are answered 24/7. And I get that call. I've taken calls at 3 a.m. in the morning, for example, in a bad trucking accident where I had to, at 3 a.m., get on the phone with my accident reconstructionist and dispatch him to the scene of a horrific accident. And so we take calls all day long, and we're always there for our clients.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Robert. It was
My
a pleasure.
My pleasure. Very nice to meet you.
And if you would like more information about Boughter and Sinak, we'll have their website listed below, and I'll see you after the break.
This segment sponsored by Boughter Sinak.
Living Local 15, proudly driven by the Kelly Automotive Group. Go to the Living Local 15 page on WANE.com for recipes from the show, to watch a segment again, and to get information on products and services featured on Living Local 15. Content segments during today's Living Local 15 were paid for by these sponsors.